We go now to our section 17 of the Negotiable Instrument Law of the Philippines. It states, constructions with instrument is ambiguous. Where the language of the instrument is ambiguous, as there are omissions therein, the following rules of construction apply. A. Where the sum payable is expressed in words and also in figures, and there is a discrepancy between the two, the sum denoted by the word is the sum payable. But if the words are ambiguous or uncertain, reference may be had to the figures to fix them out. Okay. If there is a doubt what is the total amount when the sum and the written words differ, then prevails, though the written word prevails. But if you cannot comprehend what is the one written, then the figures must be in reference to the amount. Okay. B. Where the instrument provides for the payment of interest without specifying the date from which the interest is to run, the interest runs from the date of the instrument, and if the instrument is undated, from the issue thereof. Okay. If the interest is written, the interest is monthly or anything, but it was not stated when it will start, it will be presumed that the date for the issue of the instrument. If it is not dated by the time that the instrument was delivered, so that's what we call the issue, the date upon delivery. C. Where the instrument is not dated, it will be considered as dated as if the time it was issued. Okay. If there is a date there but it was not stated, then when is the interest will start, it will be based on the date it was issued. If there is no date, upon delivery. D. Where there is a conflict between the written and the printed provision of the instrument, the written provision prevails. Okay, if there's a printed, kung naka-typewritten, if it's typewritten, or there is a handwritten, and it's usually the handwritten provision prevails. E. Where the instrument is so ambiguous that there is doubt whether it's a bill or a note, the holder may treat it as either at his own election. Okay, so the holder can decide if he's gonna treat this as a promissory note or a bill of exchange. F. Where there's a signature to place upon the instrument that it is not clear in what capacity the person making the same intended to sign, he is to be deemed an endorser. So what is an endorser again? An endorser is the one who endorsed the check that was already issued, is the payee on the first party, then he endorsed it. That's what we call endorser. Subsequent from the issuer, the maker of the instrument. Where an instrument containing the word "I promise to pay" is signed by two or more persons, they are deemed to be jointly and civilly liable. Okay. Where an instrument containing the word "I promise to pay" signed by two or more persons, they are deemed to be jointly, and this, take note of this, because specialists, I remember this promissory note of the employees that design "I promise to pay," but then the co-maker are made to sign jointly and severally liable. So take note of that when you're signing promissory note as co-maker, because you are jointly and severally liable. Section 18. Liability of a person signing in trade or assumed name. No person is liable on the instrument whose signature does not appear thereon, except as thereon otherwise expressly provided. But the one who signed in a trade or assumed name will be liable to the same extent as if he had signed his own name. Okay? If your signing is a corporation, it's a trade name, like your store, not a corporation. I'm talking about the trade name, like say for example, Lucky Me Store or 888 Store. Still, you're still liable as an owner if it's your trade name. Section 19. Go now to section 19. Signature by agent, authority, how show. The signature of any party may be made by a duly authorized agent. No particular form of appointment is necessary for this purpose, and the authority of the agent may be established as other cases of agency. Okay. The signature in party will be made by a duly authorized agent of party, and it is self-explanatory. Section 20, this is another. Liability of person signing as agent and so forth. Where the instrument contains the person or a person as a signature, words indicating that he signed it for or on behalf of a principal or a representative capacity. He is not liable on the instrument if he was duly authorized, but the term edits the word describing as an agent or supplying his representative character without disclosing his does not exempt him from personal liability. It can only be possible if he signed it and express disclosing the name of his principal. If he did not disclose his principal, just put an agent, then he is personally liable to pay. Okay? Section 21. Signature of procuration. A signature by a procuration of a versa. Notice that the agent has bought a limited authority to sign, and the principal is bound only in case the agent is signing acted within the actual limit of his authority. So if the agent had signed according to the specific instruction, according to the amount, to the period as instructed by the principal, then the principal is bound only upon their agreement. Section 22. Effect of endorsement by an infant or corporation. The endorsement or assignment of the instrument by a corporation or by an infant passes the property thereon, notwithstanding that from want of capacity, the corporation or infant may incur no liability thereon. Parang COVID, the corporation and the infant has no authority, but still it can pass on the property. It can pass on the property, Okay. Section 23. Forged signature. Forged. Effect up. When a signature is forged or made without the authority of the person whose signature it purports to be, it is wholly inoperative and no right to retain the instrument, to give a discharge therefore, or to enforce the payment therefore against any party thereto, can be acquired through or under such signature unless the party against it is only to suit to enforce its right is precluded from setting up the perjury or want of authority. Yeah. This is not, we're not talking here about blank. This is different from section 14. And section 23, the signature, there's no signature, and the somebody had signed the signature, but the signature was copied, or uh, it was represented as the signature of the original owner of the promissory note, then the promissory note is not valid. Whatever, any holder or any party, you cannot validly require the name on which the signature was signed to pay, because unlike the blank promissory note or the bill of exchange, this is different because we're talking about signature. The signature cannot be filled up by anybody, only by the one who had issued, the maker or the drawer, the intended issuer or the obligor. Nobody confers the signature. So any holder could not make the issuer, the supposedly issuer, to pay for the sum as stated on the promissory note or the bill of exchange. So take note of that. This is very important. You in the section 14, where you can fill in the amount, the date, and the installment, as long as the signature is complete. But if the signature was purged to make it appear, and they said, let's say for example, the check owner is in a hurry, I said, just can sign it like my signature. It's not like that. So still it's a forged signature, so be careful. It's very, very dangerous. You could either have a case against you or a criminal case. So that's it.